Well, we have had very strong family policy after Second World War. Family, family, family. Women, even single mother policy. And the situation of women have grown up very well during 50 years. In 60s, we made the first committee on to better the situation of women, and we got a very special permanent committee to take care of that. What has happened to the equality otherwise? Those people who don't have family, who are single living, they have problems now. In Finland, 40% of households are single living, about 1 million out of 5 million population. And there has never been politics towards single persons. And nowadays, the great trends of population in the world is eldering, and the other one is living alone. And that the second part starts mainly in Nordic countries, Singapore, etc. And there are two groups. Older women, because they are widows many times, they are very poor in even our country, because they have low pensions. And the second are male population who are in working ages but don't have work, don't have family. Are some of them dropouts. They are really the lumpen proletariat, from whom the most problems of our society grows up, and to whom our society arranges problems. And now we have started to think about making a parliamentarian commission between all parties to take care of this poor population, old women and working age men. Vappu is a specialist of women, children, families and old people. And I'm a specialist of male population, mainly homeless, unemployed, poor, schizophrenic, prisons, etc. In every country, we visit prisons and mental hospitals. Even here, 93, we were in your main prisons in Mexico City, women and male prison, because Dostoevsky said, the prisons and mental hospitals are the mirror of society. If you repair the mirror, the picture of society becomes better.
There are very much scientific evidence that the bigger the inequalities are between people, the more problems there will be. The more murders, even suicides, the more robberies, the more unhappiness, and so on. So equality brings people very much happiness and luck. But as I said, it's a difficult thing to achieve. We have to find out different ways, different times, different cultures, and strive ahead.
Wilkinson and Pritchett have written a book which is called Equality is Best for All. And they compared all the OECD countries as to the equality in wages of people. And there, Nordic countries and Japan were the best as to equality and least of problems in society. They also compared all the states in the United States in the same sense. And even there, the same truth was. And nowadays, you get quite a lot new books about this equality and inequality. And we know that global social policy is an answer in most and many problems of the world. 300 million unemployed boys or men and 300 million uneducated women. They are the main problem of the world. And that is why we have to have global social policy and equality for all.
But our fight is not easy and quick. There will be a chain of generations. If you think your country, your culture is based on your social history, your style of living is something inherited, and something created by yourselves. And that's why the generations are needed. Even us, older people. Ilkka is 72, I'm 75. We are fully fighting for the better world here. And this chain of generations is very visible in our family history, if you think of your families, in our politics, in the history of our countries. And now, education.
Oh, well, I tell that Vappu made a book about grandmothers, a very nice book, and she showed that the distance between grandmothers and fathers to their grandchildren is about 70 kilometers nowadays in Finland. So the enlarged family is destroyed, and we have to, of course, kindergarten is solving the problem. But education. Finnish people started to read 1687 because we had a bishop who told them, if you cannot read, you cannot marry, and a man does not get a woman, which is very important for a male population. So after that, everybody could read. And about 100 years ago, when we started our national state building up, a teacher was called Candle of the Village. Nowadays, the teacher's education is in university, and it's very highly appreciated and well-paid job also, and that has been one important thing. 72, we got a compulsory comprehensive education for everybody. Before that, we had for poor people separate and well-to-do people more efficient one. And now it's for everybody. But from 60s, when we were radical students, we started also to give loans for students, but nowadays even student allowances. That you can study full-time, you get from the state. Every student gets student allowance and a student home even. We started to build from 60s also, from our radical generation, and now nearly every student has their own home. They don't live badly. And that has made our students, our nation, education.
And education of women especially. This is a very long tradition. Even my grandmother never went to any school. She was very poor, but she taught all of us, educate yourself. Education is your way forward. And that it really was.
Libraries everywhere, every village, we have libraries free of charge, and you can borrow everything, even CDs, videos, nowadays even utensils.
Okay. If men and women are working, who is taking care of the children? The Nordic countries, like you heard Henrik tell about Denmark, men and women are equally working, and then childcare is needed. During my time as a minister of social affairs in Finland, 30 years ago, we made a law that there is a mandatory right for every family, if they need a place in kindergarten, the municipalities have to arrange it. It's a mandatory right for children, men and women. And why is that? It's very important for business life. Business life needs women. Business life needs workers who do not worry about the situation of their children. Who is taking care of my child? What's going on there at home? We trust in public services. We trust in our kindergartens. And we have more and more male people taking care of children. And why is that? There has to be equality in families as well. And since the 70s, we have a system of paternity leave. Oh, you can't imagine how it was ridiculed in the 70s. If Finnish men get paternity leave when the child is born. What will they do? They will go out fishing and they will out to pub drinking beer. But what has happened? In all the Nordic countries, we have created a new fatherhood in those 30 years. Fathers, they are very capable of taking care of their children. They are capable of changing diapers. They love their children. And it's very important for the emotional life of men, because now they can feel how their precious child is growing. The emotion is very, very strong. Even our two prime ministers have taken male prime ministers have taken their paternity leaves, because it's so important.
This child care or kindergarten is very interesting, that Asian cultures in Korea, Japan, Taiwan, etc., they are very interested to introduce kindergartens to get women to work, because the birth rate is going down and they don't want to have Chinese workers. It's better to get women first to work. The book in Korean language is a textbook in the University of Governance of the state, and in Taiwan it was sold 17,000 copies. It was arranged by the Minister of Education into Chinese language. It's mainly education, childcare, and some other issues which they were interested on.
And then I was very pleased to hear to Sharma this morning about educating your child, raising your child. Boys and girls, they are different and they are similar. They need the similar love, similar caressing to grow for to grow as a human being.
So we were invited in Japan about 8 years ago by the biggest newspaper magazine of the world, 10 million copies, Yomiuri Shimbun. And there were Japanese people, and we were two male and 4 women speaking about equality. The other man was the husband of our president. And we did not see the reaction of the audience, but after we had spoken, one old man asked from the husband of our president, "Are you seriously? Do you really think that equality is good for us?" That was the question that time.